Boom. And welcome once again to another episode of Stu Him Productions Presents
J&M Solve the World. I am James.
And I am Matt. And tonight, as we are recording, it is 1 week till night one of WrestleMania 40. Actual matches.
And for me, this is the first one I've been excited about in a number of years.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I've got my phone out because I've got the card. As of the recording, they're
Card subject to change.
subject to ads.
Right.
Uh,
I mean, that was always the flyer on the bills.
Yeah.
The shows, local
Yeah.
shows we went to. It said card subject to change.
Now, I will say this. One of the matches, I didn't catch the names of the two guys that won last night at SmackDown.
Oh.
The tag team.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But now, if you watched Raw on the 25th, you saw a production truck with John Cena and Stone Cold's face on it.
Right.
Now, Cena has went on record and said that he is waiting for his call for WrestleMania. And rumor has it that they are in talks with Stone Cold. Now, of course, they won't be in the main event.
No.
But they could have something to do with the main event.
Right. And they haven't announced, the quote-unquote host of WrestleMania 40 yet.
Right. So, Friday Night SmackDown will be the Hall of Fame and the Andre Award.
Mm-hmm. The Andre Battle Royal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Saturday night will be night one. Mm-hmm. And Sunday night, of course, will be night two. Right. Now, there's only two matches that we know for sure. One's happening Saturday night and one's happening Sunday night.
Well, there's three that we know for sure.
Okay.
The world title match.
Right.
And I'm not sure what night it's going to be on.
So, there's three. On Saturday night, guaranteed, is the tag team match of The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins.
Right.
And then on Sunday night, the heavyweight title between Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre.
How do they phrase it now? The Universal Heavyweight Championship, or the undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship.
That's Cody and Roman.
Right.
That's the main event.
Right.
But and I think it's just the World
Heavyweight Championship is Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre.
Right.
Right.
So to go through the rest of the card, LA Knight and AJ Styles. Now,
to me, that's a very intriguing match.
It is because, you got caught up, and AJ Styles was talking about LA Knight attacking him at his house and everything like that, and he said he was making it personal. Mm-hmm. Now you go back to the Boneyard match of AJ Styles and The Undertaker, his retirement match.
Right.
And AJ Styles, leading up to it, was going after Mark Callow.
Mm-hmm.
And going after Michelle McCool.
Right.
And, I mean, he was breaking kayfabe big time.
Right. Wasn't Taker, Dead Man.
Right.
It was Mark Callow. Yeah.
Right. And it's like, okay. And that's when Taker said, you got the unholy trinity.
Yeah.
You got the American Badass. Mm-hmm. You got the Dead Man.
Right.
And you got Mean Mark Callow.
Yeah. Which I've watched some of them old WCWs.
Yeah.
With Mean Mark Callow and his
yeah.
I'm kind of like Ole Anderson back then. I'm like going, is he ever going to draw?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You know, and to think, you know, it took one gimmick. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, he lived his gimmick for 30 years. And,
right.
and the Taker gimmick versus, like, Nature Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Yeah, Nate lived his gimmick.
Oh, yeah.
He lived it into the fucking poorhouse several times.
Exactly. In the divorce court.
Right.
Several times.
Yeah. And alimony and whatnot.
That's a pretty easy gimmick. That was a pretty easy gimmick to live if you had that party mentality at all.
Right.
You know.
Whereas Taker, you saw him in public. He wasn't doing interviews. He wasn't doing signings. He was dressed in all black. And, I mean, here's this guy, 6'9", 6'10", fucking a giant of a man.
Walking through an airport.
Right.
You knew who the fuck he was.
Right. It wasn't like seeing Andre walking through the airport.
Right.
I mean, it was like, holy fuck. I'm going to turn and go the other way.
Right.
Next up on the card, again, not knowing what night, is the 6-pack ladder match for the undisputed tag titles. You've got Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Balor, I'm sorry. And Damian Priest versus The Miz and R-Truth versus the tag team that won on SmackDown versus Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods.
Why do they call it a 6-pack challenge when there's 4 teams?
1, 2, 3. I don't know. That's.
Do they have to drink a 6-pack and then go in the ring?
Well, and okay, here's the thing, and this tells you how big WrestleMania 40 actually is. You can get the card not only on WWE.com, CBSSports.com,
right,
ESPN.com.
Right.
When was the last time you heard of professional wrestling on ESPN?
They'll put some blurbs up on their website. You
know, right.
Yeah.
That one I'm kind of. I mean, it'll be nice to see a ladder match once again. To see if it's like, you know, a la the TLC match or Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon for the Intercontinental title.
Or if you want to go tags, the Dudleys versus the Hardys versus
Edge and Christian. Yeah, the TLC matches.
Yeah.
Because those, oh my God.
I'm just worried that it's going to get really, if there's 4 teams involved, it's going to get really confabulated and kind of a clusterfuck. And
right.
You know, 6 guys are going to have to be laying outside while 2 guys go at it, and then all of a sudden one of them gets up and he's okay to come in and break up
right.
But
next up, one that I am excited about is Uso versus Uso.
That'll be interesting. Both of them are good talents.
Yes. They come from a hell of a fucking.
It's both very athletic.
Yes.
Their work, it's kind of like Cornette says. He said their punches keep getting sloppier and sloppier. I mean, it's obvious. It's an open hand slap almost.
Right.
You know, I mean, when The Rock done it back in the day, when they done the repeated blows to the head in the corner, and then he reared back and spit up in the air and caught it and laid in the last one.
Yeah.
Okay. But they're kind of doing that a little bit too much. But
right.
I mean, they're brothers. They know each other very well. So it should be very interesting. I mean,
yes.
I won't fast forward through it.
No. Next up, Logan Paul versus Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens for the U.S. title. Now that one,
The only thing I wish it was just Logan Paul versus Randy Orton.
you know, I get that.
Because it seems like there's entirely too many 3-way and 4-way matches for titles.
True, but because I believe Kevin Owens is in that because Logan had started going after Kevin and fucking with his matches, and then of course Randy, believe it or not, he's like the grand old man of fucking WWE now.
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
Because we've been watching long enough. We remember when he was a kid and the youngest world heavyweight champion.
Yeah. Oh, and he was very fucking green. Very green.
But he looks better now than he has in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, his time off from his back surgery, he's gotten really tremendous shape.
Yes, this time he has. He's not like before when he was known as the Legend Killer. Mm-hmm. That's when he was like really shredded,
right.
And
he looks thicker now, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's still got. You can still see when he gets up on the ring post and he does the whole. You can still see the 6-pack and all, but yeah. Gunther versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title. Oh. Your knee.
Oops.
That's all right. This one, I'm anxious to see because, granted, we know who it was supposed to be, but because...
And that would have been a freaking classic.
Yeah.
But somebody got in trouble. Well, he was accused.
Yes.
In the big deal. They've basically wiped his memory from.
I mean, he's not Chris Benoit.
Not yet. They're not gonna. But you haven't heard any references to him in a while.
No.
About what he did last year at WrestleMania,
right.
Or anything like that. So.
Well, and it surprised me when WWE put together the top 33 WrestleMania moments of all time. Mm-hmm. And Brock Lesnar breaking Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania was number 1.
Yeah, well, it had to be.
Well, yeah, but, at the same time, there is zero mention of Chris Benoit. Ever.
Right, but I can't... I don't remember what pay-per-view it was where he won the world title, but I don't think it was WrestleMania.
No,
I think it was SummerSlam or
probably
Survivor Series or something, because he won the... Because that was when they had the old WCW World Heavyweight Championship and the WWE Championship. He won one of them.
Yeah.
And Eddie Guerrero won the other one on the same night.
Eddie won the WWE, the Winged Eagle, and Benoit won the WCW.
The big gold.
Yes.
And that was kind of a deal because they were best buds.
And that was actually the last time, because when Triple H won the big gold, it wasn't the big gold anymore. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was still the same shape, but it wasn't big.
Right. It wasn't that same title that they brought from WCW.
Right. It wasn't the one that Jericho unified.
Well, when Jericho
because
won it,
he was the first undisputed.
And that was a brand new belt. But then Lesnar won it, and then he went to SmackDown and refused to go back to Raw, so they split the titles back up again.
Well, because when Jericho won it, he had the WCW Big Gold, and he had the Winged Eagle.
Right.
Because he had him snapped behind his neck.
Right.
Okay. Anyways, back to WrestleMania 40.
Anyway, Gunther should not lose to Sami Zayn.
No.
I mean, I'm sorry.
No.
I think they got bigger plans for Gunther because I think Braun Breaker has got a rocket ship strapped to his ass, that he will be in that title picture before long, and I think he will be the one to defeat Gunther for the Intercontinental title.
You know, I hope so, because Braun Strowman, you know, I mean, that was...
Strowman?
Yeah, Strowman.
Braun Breaker.
Or...
Braun Breaker.
No. The, part of the Wyatt family.
Right, yeah, Strowman.
Yeah. Strowman. That was like a missed opportunity. Because, I mean, that was a big dude.
Yeah, but he didn't have the working skill. I mean, Braun Breaker's got it all.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the wrestling down, the working down.
He's got the pedigree.
Yeah, he's fucking Rick Steiner's son.
Right.
And
he used to get beat up as a kid by a Big Papa Pump.
Right. And he can, he can do things. Even if the other guy fucks up and is in the wrong place, he's strong enough to put him in the right place to do what he needs to do.
Right.
I think that's going to be, I don't know, maybe SummerSlam or something.
Possibly.
Because they're really pushing him, because I've seen some ads.
Yeah.
And they're showing he can reach 24 miles an hour by the time he bounces off of one rope going across the ring.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, the kid is freaking phenomenal. So
right.
I haven't seen a whole lot of his matches, but what I've seen, he's got all the tools. And he'll probably be the Universal Championship or Universal Champion or the World Champion in the next 2 or 3 years.
Give or take. Yeah.
I mean, depends on how much they want to push him and how the fans will react to him.
Right. Iyako Sky. Did I say that right? Versus Bailey for the women's title.
Io Sky.
That one I'm interested in because Bailey, she's getting that shot again.
Right. Well, she's been getting her ass beat down on television by the whole Damage Control clique.
Which, okay, so that tells me that this is a night 2 match.
It could be. Well, we got 2 ladies championships, though, so which one do they value most?
Well, okay, but you've got, which was just announced this morning, the 6 women tag match between Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi versus Damage Control. Because that shit came to a head at SmackDown Friday night.
Last night, yeah.
So
as we're recorded.
Yes. And there was, we talked about it last night. There's the rumor going around that they're going to repackage somebody to be an Undertaker. And we were like, personally, if they do it, they can't call it the Undertaker. And totally flip the script and make it a female, a dominant force that
badass that just
that scares,
kind of a Goldberg type, just can't be beat.
Well, but there's got to be that.
I'm curious to see Jade Cargill work in the WWE after she's been through the training camp and everything.
Yeah.
Because her work in AEW was
Right.
I mean, she had the body and the strength and everything, and her matches were kind of like Goldberg matches. They lasted about 8 minutes.
Right.
And she held the TBS title.
Yeah.
And was 50-0 undefeated. They were kind of trying to do that Goldberg thing.
Right.
Which Tony Khan's kind of a mark for the old WCW stuff. So
yeah, but that's the thing is,
I'd like to see if she could, if her work's any better now since she's been through NXT and
right,
all that.
And the way that she came down to the
Performance Center.
ring, she didn't run down to the ring.
Uh-uh.
I mean, she like stalked down
Right.
to the ring, and you know, she got hit in the back, and she just
No sold it.
right just turned around and was like, "What the fuck did you just do?"
Right.
So I'm anxious to
Well,
see.
of course, with her, I mean, outside of Rhea Ripley
Yeah,
or Charlotte Flair or Bianca and who's the other girl? All the rest of them are fucking tiny.
yeah,
She should dominate. She shouldn't sell anything that
right,
Io Sky or anybody does to her. you
Right.
know? It's like, the hell, it's a fucking fly hitting me. you
right.
know?
You know, except when Ray hit Taker with that 619 and
Well, yeah.
broke his orbital bone.
No, that wasn't a 619. That was the jump off the top and his butt into his chest, but he hit him in the face.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, this one I have a feeling is going to be Sunday night, and it's Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch for the Universal Women's World Title,
Is that what they're calling it there?
or the Women's World Title.
The women's world title.
Yeah.
Ought to be an interesting match. Both of them can work their fucking asses off.
Yes.
And I can say it here on J&M Solve the World. I don't mind looking at either one of them.
No.
But I don't see Becky winning. Just because, I mean, Rhea's freaking...
I
mean,
do.
She's a powerhouse.
I see Becky winning
She could-
because I didn't get it down because I didn't get to, I don't know what the whole card is, but the LWO and I know they've got a match set with Dominic and somebody else. So Ray and Dom, Dirty Dom, are going to be fighting.
I can see Rhea losing because of Dom doing something and fucking it up
Yeah,
and causing Rhea to lose.
right.
Because Rhea's in a heel group, right?
Yes,
But the fans react to Rhea by herself as a babyface.
right.
She can't lose clean.
No.
I can see if Dom does something to try to help her win the match and screws up and Becky wins. I can see that happening for sure. Yeah.
Well, and I could also see, you know, the angle Becky just got her American citizenship here recently, and her getting the big strap.
Well, and if Seth retains,
Mm-hmm.
I can see Becky go, we got all the gold.
Yeah, yeah,
Seth was her husband.
right. Well, and we just talked about the Cody and Seth versus Rock and Roman, and then of course Seth and versus Drew for the heavyweight title.
Going back to that tag match, I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. Because I think there's going to be a big swerve before WrestleMania is over with. And I don't know. I think something's going to happen in that match where Cody and Seth win, because there's rules. There's fallout from this match. If Cody and Seth win, the bloodline cannot be at WrestleMania.
Right.
Or at night 2.
Right.
If the Rock and Roman win, that it's bloodline rules, and basically they're all going to be at ringside during Cody and Roman's match.
Right. And
So-
Roman's going to retain because he hasn't cleanly defended his title
Right.
ever.
But I can see it going two different ways. They could win, then it's bloodline rules, and then the Rock screws Roman, and Cody wins, and he tells Roman, I am the
Tribal chief.
tribal chief.
Because The Rock's calling himself the final boss.
Or I could see something happening Saturday night where The Rock and Roman lose, and then The Rock is pissed at Roman because of something he did.
Yeah.
And then that causes The Rock to show up and screw Roman on Sunday night.
Yes.
Something like that's going to happen. I'm thinking.
Well, and it's because all there has to be, because I haven't read the rules for the Universal title match.
Well,
because
it
a
depends,
title,
it depends on the tag team,
right?
If
but a title.
Well, yeah, I don't know. As far as I know, it's just going to be a straight wrestling match,
right? But a title can't change hands
on a disqualification or a count out.
Correct.
If Cody and Seth win, is Cody going to say, okay, here's the rules? Well, I mean, because if they all show up ringside, the bloodline shows up ringside, even if it's a conventional match, you got enough people, one, to distract the referee and somebody else to hit fucking Cody in the head with a belt or whatever.
Yeah. Seiko, Solo, whatever, hits him.
Solo Sakura.
Yeah, hits him with that cast that he's been wearing for fucking a year.
No, it's just a taped thumb, so he does a Samoan spike.
Yeah.
There was a Japanese wrestler back in the day that used to do that. He had was he? No. I think he was Tongan or something. They call it the Tongan spike. I don't remember. It was back in the fucking 80s.
Yeah.
But anyway, and you could tell when he was getting ready to use it, because he would grab that thumb and he'd twist it. You know, he was loading it up.
Yeah.
And then he would hit him in the neck, and then the match was over. Maybe Solo spikes Roman. Cody doesn't see it because Cody ain't going to take a win like that.
Yeah.
Cody wins, and then Solo goes over with The Rock, and they look at Roman and just wave bye-bye to him.
Could be.
I don't know.
Or, let's say The Rock and Roman
Or Jade Cargill comes out and kicks all their asses. No.
Rock and Roman win Saturday night. So the bloodline is around the ring Sunday night for the main event. And then they announce the special guest referee.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And you hear that glass break. And the crowd fucking erupts. Fuck.
Like Cornette says, they'd be throwing babies in the air.
Yep. And I could see, because Punk is calling commentary for Seth and Drew.
That's another thing that's got me excited about this. I mean, fucking Punk's back.
Yeah.
And he's in the mix, even though he's hurt.
Yeah.
But he's definitely in the mix.
Right. And I could see, I mean, to be completely honest, okay, there's 4 tag teams in that 6-pack, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, one of the major tag teams from back in the day is not going to be there. The New Age Outlaws.
No.
They're not going to be there.
No, because Billy Gunn's in AEW.
Right. One of the most dominant tag teams in the Monday Night Wars for WCW, the Outsiders, they're not going to be there because unfortunately Scott is no longer with us.
Right.
But that does leave one of the most decorated tag teams that know all about ladder matches.
But isn't Bully Ray and he in TNT or TNA?
I don't think so.
He was not that long ago. I mean, who's to say if he got a big enough check that he ain't going to show up?
Right. But
Devon's retired.
yeah, but again, big enough check.
Sure.
I mean, for one match.
I thought the teams were already set, though.
Right. Well, okay, so I did the card Friday morning. I took down all the notes Friday morning.
Right.
And that 6-pack tag title, tag title match, we thought it was set. Mm-hmm. And then it changed at SmackDown last night.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and I can't remember who won that match.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter.
You know, I'm not really that interested in the tag teams.
No.
Because there's really no interesting tag teams in WWE right now.
Right. True tag teams.
Right.
I mean, because.
I mean, they've got some guys together.
The Miz and R-Truth.
R-Truth has been such a comic character for so long. It's hard to take him serious. And the Miz, too, for that matter here, in recent years. Both talented guys, don't get me wrong, but they've been kind of.
R-Truth was great with Goldust.
Do you remember seeing R-Truth in TNA back before he went to WWE? He was a bad motherfucker.
He was a bad motherfucker when he first came to WWE.
But then they turned him into the comic character.
Right.
But he's still a bad motherfucker. If you look at that motherfucker's in his 50s.
Yeah.
And he's built like that?
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
Right.
I mean,
but
not to sound racist or anything, but the old term black don't crack. Look at R-Truth. Does he look in his 50s? Fuck no. He looks like he's 35.
Look at Ron Simmons.
Look at Bobby Lashley.
Oh my God.
I mean, Ron Simmons is showing his age now, but Bobby Lashley looks like he did 20 years ago.
Well, okay, let's be fair.
Ron's 70. I mean,
Ron Simmons played football in the late 70s for fucking Florida State. Damn. Godfather. Mm-hmm. He still looks fucking good. Mm-hmm. Booker.
Yeah, Booker looks good. And to go on the other side, Tully Blanchard looks like shit. I mean, he's fucking bald. Of course, he's 70 years old too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Sting looks pretty good though for a white guy. Of course, he wears paint on his face. But even in the interviews I've seen without him, he's 62, 64, or something like that.
Flair has said that he's not doing a match without a shirt on.
Right. Flair don't look like Ric Flair did in
1988.
I'm going to say 96.
Yeah. Now, okay, so older wrestlers that are, Mick Foley. He's on a big weight loss journey because he wants.
Is he doing the DDP yoga thing, or is he doing something different?
I think he is doing it, but he's also doing other things. Because
the yoga would help him out so much. All the punishment he's had on his fucking body.
The hardcore legend.
I'll tell you, somebody don't look bad. I mean, Stone Cold's still looking pretty. He's in fucking shape.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that his back would want to do the bumps and shit anymore, or in his neck and all that stuff. But I mean,
DDP.
60 fucking whatever old. I mean, he's knocking. He's I think he's closer to 70 than he is 60 now. And he can stand, reach down, grab his foot, and pull it up beside his head right now.
Yeah.
I mean, for all you real men out there that say yoga's for a bunch of pussies, try it sometime.
He, and he was the old man when he was in WCW.
He didn't start wrestling until he was in his late 30s.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd been a manager, Diamond Dallas Page and the Diamond Dolls, and I mean,
Mick Foley and Stone Cold.
He never thought he was good enough to get in the ring.
Yeah.
And then he did, and then he got that push in WCW.
Yeah.
And won the world title, and I forget, he was 40, 41 when he won the world title in WCW.
Yeah. Part of the Broken Skull sessions with Mick Foley and Stone Cold, and they talked about when they used to be out on the road with DDP, and they would all share a hotel room, saving money, and they would take turns who got the cot, who got the beds. And they were talking about one night they just crushed up a bunch of cookies and put them in the cot because that's where DDP was at. And he comes out of the bathroom and he's got ice on his elbows and his shoulders and his hips and nothing else.
Right.
And you just hear that. And they were both laying in their beds trying not to laugh. And he gets on the cot and he gets those, the cookies all over him, and he just fucking flips out. And those guys are laughing their asses off, trying to keep a naked fucking DDP off of them.
Right.
And Mick said the next night, DDP got his own room. He wouldn't share it with those guys.
Fuck you guys.
But I mean, it's stories like that I love hearing, stories from the road.
Right.
There was...
I love that series, Tales from the Territories. Mm-hmm. And they told them road stories, about their trips. And
the
Harley Race threatened, bringing a freaking gun into a WWE event and threatened to burn the ring down.
On the WWE network, there's the Table for Three, or however many it just happens to be. And they did one on BSK, Bone Street Crew. And Godfather was talking about, he was driving, Yokozuna was in the front seat, Taker was in the back, and...
How big a fucking car was this?
Oh, it was like a caddy. It was a big fucking caddy that they rented.
An Escalade or...
No.
Just a car?
No, yeah, because this was back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Before Yoko was really big.
Before 600 pounds?
But Godfather talked because he loved country and Western music. Mm-hmm. And he was playing, I forget what he said it was, but he put the cassette in and he's listening to it. About 5 minutes down the road, Yokozuna reached over, hit eject, rolled down his window, threw that tape out, and looked at the Godfather and said, "You're black, right?" And it's like, okay, what are you going to say?
It was probably like some old school fucking Ernest Tubb or Little Jimmy Dickens or some shit like that.
I think it was like old Waylon and Willie or
Waylon and Willie.
Something like that. Yeah.
See, when Herb and I and whoever rides with us when we road trip, who's ever driving is in charge of the radio.
Okay.
So, and we usually got the Sirius going on, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we went to Vegas that one time, when Nolan was driving, it was like fucking bluegrass and shit.
Ugh.
It's like, I'm trying to go to sleep back here. And when I got behind the wheel, I found Ozzy's Boneyard.
Fuck yeah.
When Herbie was driving, it was like 60s, 70s rock.
Right.
Which I can handle that.
Yeah.
But
classic rewind or, classic vinyl. But I am really excited. Now, okay, so going into the Hall of Fame, I know it's Paul Heyman.
Right.
There's an older tag team that's going in, and that's really all that I know of right now.
No,
I mean, they've been...
They just announced, God damn it. He was a black wrestler back in the 60s, 70s. Jesus Christ. I'm having an elderly moment here. or you find it on the Google.
Yeah.
Damn it, who was it? His last run was in Georgia Championship Wrestler in WCW.
Okay, so as of right now, you've got Paul Heyman, Bull Nakano,
Famous Japanese wrestler.
The U.S. Express, Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda.
Okay, that's the tag team, yep.
Muhammad Ali and Thunderbolt Patterson.
Thunderbolt Patterson, that's who I was trying to think of, yeah.
Yep.
Which, you know.
But hang on, that's according to Wikipedia.
That sounds right, because Cornette's been covered it on his podcast.
Yeah.
And
Paul Heyman, Bull Nakano, the U.S. Express, Ali, Thunderbolt Patterson. Yeah, okay.
Thunderbolt. I do remember seeing him back in the mid-late 80s on Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Territory days, including becoming world champion in Memphis, Florida, and Kentucky, television champion in Georgia, and a tag champion in Georgia, California, and Mid-Atlantic. But perhaps Patterson's biggest contribution to wrestling is what he did outside the ring, as he fought against racial discrimination during the 70s and even campaigned to form a wrestlers' union, which Patterson later claimed led him being blackballed for several years.
That's probably why he never wrestled in WWE.
Yeah.
And Wyndham and Rotunda, those guys were both. That was before Rotunda became IRS.
Yeah.
And of course, Barry Windham
being the uncle and father of the late Bray Wyatt.
Yep.
From 83 to 86, however, the two were among the best tag teams in the world, winning the NWA United States Tag Team Championship 4 times while working in Florida, and even winning the WWE Tag Team titles twice between 84 and 85. It may not have been a long run, but their success shows the brother-in-law team were just as worthy of being Hall of Famers together as they were as individuals.
And just another little snippet of that, too. You remember Blackjack Mulligan?
Yeah.
That was Barry Windham's dad.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yep. And then he had a little brother, Kendall, who was a great freaking worker, but he just never had the size that it took, And Barry should have probably been an NWA World Heavyweight Champion. I don't know if his work ethic or reliability kept him from doing that, or what it was. But he was a tremendous athlete. He's big. He's like 6'7", 6'8", 260, 70 pounds, something like that.
Didn't he become like Shipwreck, Earthquake?
No. That was John Tenta.
Okay.
He's passed away.
Yeah.
He was also the Shockmaster.
Yeah.
for one segment.
Yeah, and then Akeem.
No, Akeem was God damn it. He was like a security. He was like a prison guard. Bubba Rogers, Big Bubba Rogers.
Yeah. Okay.
He ended up becoming Akeem, the African Dream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was white. He was Big Bubba Rogers when he was with Cornette and Crockett. He was the one-man gang.
Yes.
WCCW.
Okay.
Yep.
And he was the one-man gang with WWF.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
All right. So I think we have covered pretty much WrestleMania 40 and everything in between.
Looking forward to it. I'm not going to get to see Saturday night because I will be out of town.
Well, and I may be with you.
So I will probably, I don't know if I'm going to watch all 8 hours of it Sunday when I get home, but
I'll probably look at the results and figure out which matches I want to watch.
I don't want to do that. I'm just going to like, because, It's all on Peacock.
Yeah.
So
For now.
yeah.
Because they're getting ready to move to Netflix.
Right. I wonder if all the library is going to be on Netflix. I don't, because Raw is moving to Netflix, but SmackDown is moving to USA.
WWE is moving back to USA. Now, I wonder if they're going to keep WWE.com and the WWE Network.
Oh, I'm sure they are. But I hope they're on a streaming platform that I have, because I love going back and watching that library, like the old WCW, WCCW.
I wish they had the territory
Smoky
days.
Mountain and all that. I mean,
OVW.
Yeah. Well, is OVW on Peacock?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, there's some of it there. Because I know there was I looked at one and it was like Randy Orton and Dave Bautista and John Cena were on the card. So I mean, it was
what a class that was.
Oh
OVW.
my God.
I mean,
well, and it was Bautista. You know, Taker gave him some great advice. You're a big dude. You don't need to be doing all this shit.
right.
And
Wrestle like a big guy. You don't need to be doing hook and runners and shit.
And because he was, God, I can't remember what.
His gimmick he had in OVW.
Yeah.
I've heard it. I can't remember what it was now. I'll think of it as soon as we sign off here.
But on that note, you have just watched another episode of Stu Him Productions Presents
J&M, Solve the World. I have been James.
And I have been Matt. And until next time, you keep one fist in the gold, one foot in the gutter, and we will be seeing you.
Peace and love.